There has been a lot going on just in the past 24 hours. All the elderly that was in a retirement home in Brandon, Mississippi, they did get evacuated, all of them. All the flood and rain in Brandon, Mississippi, which got hit really hard, as well as Jackson, had 2 derailments of their trains due to all this flooding, according to the mayor's office. Roads just getting demolished to where nobody could pass. And this one right here, you can see the road came out from underneath the truck and it did wreck. They also had a brief tornado by Hattiesburg, Mississippi. A lot going on in Mississippi. And because of the Texas drought, now they found dinosaur footprints over 113 million years old. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to you. Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Now I'm going to show you what rainfall is still coming for the south and the southeast, as well as the updates in the tropics. Now we have flash flood watches still for Montana and in the south, eastern Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. This is still training towards the Florida Panhandle right now. Milwaukee just got a bunch of storms, and this is headed towards Chicago. They're going to have rounds of rain for today, and now the storms are moving across Georgia into South Carolina. And you can see right here on higher resolution rapid refresh, as the storms go from Georgia to South Carolina today, the atmosphere is going to fill right back up with some more storms, some more accumulated rainfall for the same areas that just got hit. A lot of this is still going towards Mobile, Alabama. Then as we go into tomorrow for Friday, it is going to ramp right back up for the south and the southeast over Florida as well. A lot more storms coming and some more rainfall. Now this video has been put out by Weather Nation. Link is in the description for all these videos I'm showing you. Brandon, Mississippi, that retirement home I showed you yesterday, this is them getting evacuated. They did have to evacuate everybody out of that building. And it did cause 2 trains to derail. So as you see these photos, you can see the derailments of the train that did happen in Mississippi. A lot of damage, a lot of problems. Not just flooding, it was widespread problems. Look at that rail. It's just all warped. Also got this video for you posted by Fox Weather, but courtesy of Taylor Thompson. A brief spin up that did happen in Mississippi yesterday. Didn't last too long, but there was a spin up, a brief tornado. And Fox Weather also posted this. This is amazing. Because of the drought in Texas, they were able to find 113 million years old dinosaur tracks. How about that? That's amazing. Video in description. And look at this shot here. This is a ruler. This is 12 inches. Look at that footprint. On the next 24 hours, according to National Weather Service, there is going to be another inch to almost 2 inches of rainfall falling for Mississippi. But most of it is going to add up around Mobile and the Florida Panhandle for the next 24 hours. And as you keep on going for the next 2 days, you can see it just adds up to some more. You can also see as we go in later tonight into tomorrow, this will add up for Florida as well as some for Georgia and the coast of South Carolina. Some more heavy rainfall coming. And I did post about the generator giveaway yesterday, so I will put this up in the corner so you can go click on it. There is a timestamp in the description that says generator giveaway. Just click on that timestamp and it'll take you right to the instructions how you could win the generator. Plus, we have another company that I was thinking about promoting this as well, guys. So we might have multiple companies helping out with these giveaways. And yesterday was actually the 30-year anniversary of Hurricane Andrew. Everybody remembers what that did to Florida. It was a Cat 4. It was a lot of devastation. Andrew was really nasty. So your tropical update, this first wave is still at 20%. The second wave is still at 20%, maybe 10% in the next 48 hours. Now this will change very often because we don't know what's going to happen when it gets to the Western Caribbean. It is favoring the Western Caribbean, so something can come out of it. So we need to keep our close eye on it. We have a lot of deep ocean heat content right in that part of the area, just like I showed you yesterday. So as this moves and tracks further west, then we'll get a little better idea. So far, it's still showing big problems. And Euro is still showing that this will weaken down and it will still strengthen back up and come towards our Caribbean. So our update with National Hurricane Center in the next 72 hours, our tropical wave will be around here. It's still dealing with dust and it has some dust pushing behind it. But as it gets further along this high pressure traveling towards the Yucatan, This is where development is going to be expected. And the next wave coming would follow this high pressure going north, right over Puerto Rico, right by the Bahamas and the islands, just like the ensemble of the Euro has been showing. This is the direction it will be flowing. And the latest run shows that in the next 5 days, this precipitation will start to move over Honduras, Nicaragua, right next to y'all, while you have this big pocket of dust behind it, a lot of warm temperatures, and it won't start forming until later as it gets closer towards the Yucatan, sometime around the 31st through the 1st of September. We still don't know what the outcome is. The latest this morning, the Euro shows that the cold front comes way down. Now, when these cold fronts come down, they bring a big trough, and that trough puts a lot of shear. So it's getting a lot of problems from the shear coming from the trough from the cold front, plus this dust coming up behind it. Euro don't take pretty much nothing coming out of it. This shows the next wave is still coming right by our eastern Caribbean and going towards Puerto Rico, and that's by September 3rd. Now, the 0Z with the GFS does show about the same thing as the Euro. It shows it a little better organized. Then as it comes by the Central American gyre, it goes by the Western Caribbean. It starts favoring Northern Caribbean still, but still is fighting with all this trough of the shear, still fighting with the dust coming behind it and pushing it, and it has to hurry. And it's still not showing much going for Florida. It's still showing that western push. So here we are by September 3rd. Remember, take this with a grain of salt. Euro is showing nothing. And this is still showing it could ramp up, go towards Louisiana or Texas. This morning we're seeing Texas. But you can see the fight in the atmosphere with the precipitable water. It's just trying to head north, but it's just getting hit with too many problems. And so far, the GFS takes it west, pulling all this precipitation on the east side loaded. If this was a play out, look at all that heavy rainfall, not only for what's happening to Texas, but Louisiana, Mississippi, just hours and hours of precipitation, very heavy precipitation coming your way if this was to show true. And you can see this big fight with the Euro as you look at the 500 millibars. When we get it a little past 5 days away, it's trying to form up north, just like it showed yesterday in the update, but it keeps getting hit with all this dust, all this shear, and it cannot do anything. And it literally has it keep pushing west right over to Yucatan, and we are already 10 days away, while that next system heads right through the Caribbean, going towards Puerto Rico. Good formation. And you can see the fight that it has when you look at the 500 millibar height, the very highest level. Looking at the relative humidity, you can see the moisture, the precipitation just gathering together while you have this dust moving in, and it's still having problems. You get a big pocket of dust that gets in and blocks this system, and it is pushing easterlies to the west, so it's causing issues. And you have dust coming behind it that's rushing it along, telling it has to move and move to the west. So I really don't have much formation chances as long as we get this dust right in front of it. So far, that's what we're seeing this morning. There will be a block of some dust, while that next one is just covered in dust and still pushing through. And you can see the dust here on the GOES satellite with the NASA feed. Now, all this precipitation does move towards Nicaragua, Honduras, and it does try to form up as it goes towards the Yucatan. It's still trying to get a center, but it gets rushed by all this dust. It cannot form into anything. It does try right in between Cuba and the Yucatan, right around the 30th. Then as it goes towards the Gulf, it does head west, just like Euro is showing. It's a little more northern in this weather model. And you see the big plume of dust that's coming behind it, just rushing it along. And when you look at the whole basin, you can see how big this plume of dust is. And then when we got that next big wave coming off, it shows a lot of strength. Now, we actually have two waves. The first wave coming off is going to be covered in dust, but it will fill the atmosphere with a lot of moisture, giving the next wave a better chance of forming something that could happen. And this is by September 3rd, according to the NASA satellite, coming off the MDR. And just like Euro showing it could go into the Caribbean, you can see here with NASA satellite that by September 3rd, it does try and get some kind of formation. However, all the precipitation is northern. So as we look at the 0Z, you can see how everything forms up. GFS shows that first wave weakening, then headed to the north. Euro shows that a little bit stronger, while you still show this system going towards Texas, curving out through the Tennessee, Kentucky Valley, still going out through the northeast, and a possible storm in the northeast. And the 6Z, the update this morning, this shows almost the same thing. That wave gets together on the Western Caribbean, strengthens a little bit better by the time you get to September 2nd, and it heads into the Gulf and is still going to the west. A little bit more southern than what it showed before, but it is showing a lot more strength. Just like it showed with the NASA satellite, that the best chance it has is to be right here, although NASA satellite pushed it to the west. GFS says that when it goes to the west, it will have formation and very much grows to a major hurricane, guys. That is a 959 millibar storm. Very much a major hurricane going towards Texas. And if this trend keeps going, this could go further to the south and be a problem for northern Mexico. It could dissipate, just like the Euro is showing, and just be a group of disorganized thunderstorms headed to the west. Like I said, we got to take this literally 5 days at a time. So much can happen right here by the Western Caribbean. And the Euro does show that that second wave heads a little northern like GFS says, except that first one don't weaken down and head northern like GFS says. It says it's going to keep going to the west and keep its strength. A lot stronger than what GFS is showing. So possible cyclone locations, according to GFS, you can see in 4 days, it shows just like the Canadian has been showing that something could spin up close to home by Texas. Just keep your eyes open for that. As well as that wave moving towards the Central American gyre. Keeps going, and as you keep going to see what the possible outcomes is, it could go towards the Western Caribbean that is being favored, while a couple could show it still to the north, guys, in the Gulf of Mexico. Many possibilities still. But if you look at the members, you'll see most of them is showing that it will be a western push to the Western Caribbean, just like the Euro is showing, headed to the west. You can see this with the Euro. In 4 days, you started getting some kind of formation going through the Caribbean. It does favor northern, just like GFS is saying, but Euro shows as it goes western into that Caribbean that it could still go northern, strengthen up, and still go towards Texas or Louisiana. If it don't go towards Texas or Louisiana and it takes one of these tracks, it will be weaker. This is just the strongest track that is showing. And that next wave will be making that push right towards northern Puerto Rico, still going towards the Bahamas. So checking for a chance for a tropical depression in 5 days. Euro is favoring our system to be right here as that next wave comes. And as you keep going, you'll see it does favor the Western Caribbean as it moves across the Yucatan, gets into the Gulf in about 10 days. So take this with a grain of salt. It's still far away. Euro has been unbelievably accurate this year, so I do believe this western push. While that next wave has a good chance, almost a 70% chance of being a tropical depression as it passes by the islands in 10 days and goes towards the Bahamas with this energy. And you can see also it can go to the Western Caribbean, favoring the Eastern Pacific, and it could go also to Texas. So that is still possibilities. It could still go that way. So by September 3rd, you can see in all the ensembles that there is possibilities for this still to be into the Gulf. But you see in most of them, it did weaken down, and it's not a big chance, even a strong chance of just going to the west. But remember, this is your controlled member, and this is your more than likely outcome. So by September 3rd, this system should still be weak, be an upper level low headed right for Cuba, in between Cuba and the Yucatan, while this next wave does head a little northern, going around this Bermuda high. And as you keep on going, you see it does get into the Gulf, and it does head towards southern Texas. So if it does go west in the Gulf, it will go a little bit further southern, probably around San Antonio. While this next wave does go by the Bahamas, and as it goes by the southeast, it does a sharp turn away. And we just got the update, guys. So you can see in the update a lot of potentials for this to go into our Gulf of Mexico, even the southern half. But once again, your controlled member, it is still expected by September 3rd to be over here by the Western Caribbean. It's showing a little bit stronger than the 0Z run, but it still shows it will head to the west, and it's still showing northern Mexico, southern Texas. And it is showing that system that's going by the islands and the Bahamas that it will curve northern and not be so close. An update with a potential velocity anomaly, according to GFS, it is showing this weakening. Look, it lost its lift right here on this one. So I do believe this will head to the west, just like we've seen before. And I do not think it will be a strong hurricane going towards Texas. This is all saying it will be something very weak. To be a hurricane, it would have to look like this. Matter of fact, like this. It showed more strength now on the one that's coming from September 5th all the way to September 10th. Something very strong, and this is right in our region. The Euro is still showing the same thing. That will be very weak on this system. We do have some more energy passing through as we go through the beginning of September, but it's not showing a lot of strength with that storm, sometime around September 11th, September 12th. But as you take a look, you can see Euro is suggesting that we are going into a new phase coming into October. Maybe a neutral phase with some lift passing through. And the update on our MJO to see what is expected for the future of this hurricane season. Now, this is by Climate Forecast System. This is the only model showing this. And when you have your MJO going into 1, 2, and 3, where you have your Caribbean, your tropical Atlantic, this shows a favorable environment for more tropical Atlantic hurricane season. Matter of fact, a little bit deeper would be more like it, but it's taking it back, but it still shows it will carry into October as we go into the 3. And take this with a grain of salt, guys, because CFS is a long-range model, but it sees like 700 hours away, and it does change a lot. Matter of fact, I'm seeing it as an outlier this morning, because I have all these models up here, link in the description for you as well to go see this for yourself. And as you look at everybody else on what they see on this MJO, it's showing that we're going to go into a favorable environment for September. And as we go into late September and October, it's going all the way back towards the null phase, back to the beginning, where we're not going to continue to keep having this hurricane season. Now, I know what you're saying. Hey, that's the Euro. The Euro does see a change coming in October. But if you look at all of them, they are all saying this, guys. They are all saying that this will happen. Climate Forecast System is the only one showing it will not happen. All the rest are agreeing that we're going to go into a slight hurricane season phase and go right back towards a neutral to no hurricanes. I hope you'll have a great Thursday out there. I will draw for the winner of that generator in tomorrow's video, Friday's video. Give everybody a chance to try and win it. So congratulations to whoever gets that generator. I hope you do need it. Psalm 60. O God, thou hast cast us off. Thou hast scattered us. Thou hast been displeased. O turn thyself to us again. Thou hast made the earth to tremble. Thou hast broken it. Heal the breaches thereof, for it shaketh. Thou hast showed thy people hard things. Thou hast made us to drink the wine of astonishment. Thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth. Selah. That thy beloved may be delivered. Save with thy right hand and hear me. God has spoken in his holiness. I will rejoice. I will divide Shechem and mete out the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also is the strength of mine head. Judah is my lawgiver. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me into Edom? Wilt not thou, O God, which hast cast us off? And thou, O God, which didst not go out with our armies? Give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of man. Through God we shall do valiantly, for he it is that shall tread down our enemies. Amen. Thank you so much for visiting my channel today. God bless all of you dealing with everything going on. All power, all glory does go to Yahweh, God of Jacob, our Father, forever and ever. Amen. Hallelujah. Have a great Thursday, everybody.